take it a little slower. Wake up, Rick.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Boom. Back. Season 7 is here, everyone. Well, season 6 of The Sopranos is still ticking on, but we're here. We're in the final step. 5 more episodes, guys? Is that right?
Yep. The
5
top down
more,
score.
and we will be done. Oh, I got my feet up. I am fucking easy sailing. I got 2 episodes, and then like last episode got a movie in an episode. Like I'm on easy street. The rest of you chumps have to actually work. Glad to have that happen to you. Not to date this, but Mark just came back from vacation. This is the episode after the infamous picture with Payson that everybody finally knew that Mark is not 7-foot god. And Payson's also a freak tall as well. So I sure know how to pick my friends. I keep them under the 5'10" mark, and that's what I like to do. It keeps me humble. But Mark, how was Comic-Con? How are you? How was your watching experience?
Comic-Con was good, but like usual, I came back more tired than I did when I left. Unfortunately, yes, I am like 5'7", and it shows in the picture. Payson's got a full head over me because he was much, much taller than I expected him to be. The TV was good. Yeah, TV was good.
No one, just to let you know, 5'7" or not, no one. The odds came out, no one picked Payson to win in a fight. I'll just say that right now. Like, push come to shove, heights may be one thing. We all picked Mark Menchaca with the heavy hands to knock the shit out of Payson if he stepped out of line. So he told me he talked to your brothers, had a great old time. I'm glad you're back. Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience? Me and you had like technically a week off from TV, even though you don't know how to take a week off. But how?
Oh.
And there he goes.
Well, I mean, I am doing good. Definitely much better than Cody's connection to this video. Hopefully, that's something that will be fixed here shortly. The shows, I mean, we're in the home stretch now. 7th season for Shield and Mad Men. Sopranos, like Cody said, it's still kind of doing its half and half season thing, but it's interesting stuff.
I mean, you got a full season. I got technically a full season, but they split mine in half.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you did that too.
I had to sit there, watch 7 episodes, and wait another year, and then watch another 7 episodes.
The old AMC season finale or series finale.
I hope you kept the banter going. I hope you had a conversation. Don't know what happened. Just internet just said you should connect you should connect your computer to the internet. It is. It literally loaded StreamYard while that screen opened. So I don't know what's happening tonight. This is gonna be wild. But Matt, you're doing good.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the video to see. But how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I had a break. Had to watch some horror movies. Some bad horror movies in general. But overall, had a pretty good week. I had some people in this community reach out and be like, "Yeah, so I want to start this podcast. Do you think weekly, like, I want to do like weekly and blah, blah." And I just paused real quick. I said, there are only 3 people in this community that can do a weekly podcast and keep it consistent over the course of a year. That's Mark, me, and Matt. Try to every 2 weeks and see how you do, but do not commit until you found a group that will ride it out every week. Because that's what the show does. We do that. Season 2, again, after this, we're 5 more episodes of this. There'll be maybe a slight break, probably a slight break, because we'll probably want this to play the second thing to play through our break that we're going to take. But we're going to HBO Max, now called HBO Max. It's back to HBO Max. I think it was Max,
we'll
HBO,
see what it's
HBO.
like by the time the shows come out.
Yeah, who knows? My logo changes more on my TV than any other logo out there. But Succession, True Detective, and The Leftovers is what we will be doing. We're also going to try a new format for the next season. See how it goes. Then we'll compare in the off season which way we liked it, and then we'll decide which way we're going to go for future. Because I think the news is good. The news is good that we've been greenlit for a third season. That's what I'm hearing. Things could change.
Oh shit!
The,
You don't want
the,
to greenlit though.
yeah.
That's not a
Oh,
good
true. Greenlit in the terms of us, not greenlit in the terms of Vic. But we have been greenlit. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Funds could fall through, or people could go off, but it's looking good for season 3. But we're gonna start where we brand new season, but same old cop. Is he gonna have his job? Is he not? You know what? Matt's gonna tell us.
But let's find out as we jump into season 7, episode 1. They're busting out a big old word right there. Coefficient of drag.
Like 2 words.
How many times did you sound that like play that to make sure you knew how to say it before?
I just like this is the first time I said it. I just like crossed my fingers and hope to God.
You know what? I like that commitment. Somebody that does the same thing, like this is going to be terrible for me. People are going to make fun of me. Matt just hammers through. That's what we need. Mark, that's what you need to do with those Italian names you get in movie melee all the time, and you're just like, motherfucker, you just need to hammer through. Fuck them.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to read like Salvadorian and Armenian names the whole time and stuff. But yeah, so we're jumping into the season. Not too much time has gone by. It's pretty much like that day. Shane comes home and finds that Mara has been tied up, and little Jackson is locked up in his room. Vic and Ronnie just jump him, start beating him up a little bit. Shane tells him that the Armenians know that they robbed the money train, so he kind of reveals what he's been up to a little bit. He says that everything he did, kidnapping Vic's family the last season, that was all to protect them. And Shane just wants to work with those guys again. Of course, Vic says no. Then later we find out Shane goes to see Rezien in jail because he's still got this Armenian stuff he's got to deal with. Rezien wants him to get him out of jail, which he can't do. But then he tells Shane that he needs to find Jiro's hitman so that they can find out where she is and kill her. Meanwhile, Vic he pays an ex-cop who we recognize from earlier seasons. He was one of the jerk cops who was harassing Julian. But he gets him to watch over his family, and then he goes and lies to his family about what's going on, as Vic always does.
He's just a gay hating cop, right? That one, like
yeah. He was one of the guys that did a blanket party on Julian.
I couldn't remember. The show was acting like you should remember this guy. I'm like, okay, you say so.
Yeah, they did like just like they lingered too long on his face, and I'm like, but I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, I know this is what the Shield's doing. I'm just not buying it. I don't know who you are.
Vic knows you and knows you're scummy enough to do this. So.
Like, he should have been burned on the flipping the stove, and I maybe would have known that guy. The rest of them, I have no idea.
It's usually in the recap. The recap would have told me if I should remember the guy.
Which I want to talk about the funny recap, I think, on the 3rd episode. I'm just like, oh, we're going to bring this back. Perfect. I'm glad.
Oh, boy. And meanwhile, Claudette has put Ronnie in charge of the strike team since Vic's employment is kind of still up in the air. And, of course, he gets really he gets put on a real drag of a case of a Salvadorian murder. Where a couple guys kind of got drugged through it seems like a whole block or two as they're just walking down the road through the blood trail. We're also introduced to an ICE agent, Olivia Murray, which I don't think ICE was a super well-known organization when this aired, but now has become in the news.
You should know it now.
Yeah, I was like, why are they saying ICE?
They didn't think how to say it quickly. They're not that bright.
But yeah, she's here. She's investigating some cartel activity in Farmington.
Oh, fucking! You showed up now.
It finally got on someone's
For
radar.
6 fucking
And
seasons.
she's not really there in an official capacity. She's just there to kind of scope it out so she can get enough information.
Just to see if it's worth investigation. Like, this
Pretty much.
file's been on her desk since season 1, but she just hasn't ever picked it up. And like, oh, you know what? Farmington. Let's look at this one.
I heard some rumblings. I thought I'd check it out.
What's this? Somebody getting their feet chopped off?
Oh my
That
god,
doesn't
if there's an
sound like
organization for anything, sex trafficking, drugs, cartel, it's happening in Farmington and no one's showing up. Zero.
Oh yeah, then we get Arm Bullas, the guy.
Also,
who
they
had
showed up
the-
5 episodes. Like, what? How many episodes in the last season? 13?
10 the last season.
They showed up with
10
15 episodes left. We're like, wait, some shit's going down. Need to be here.
she will play a role.
Oh, God, I hope so.
But yeah, the guy who had the blackmail box in his trunk at the end of last season shows up at Vic's house trying to get those blackmail files back. He says he's pretty much going to kill if he doesn't get them back. And Vic pretty much just takes him and chains him up in that house where he killed Guardo. So we'll get back to him later on. So now you have Vic and Shane are separately tracking down the hitman from last season. Vic manages to get to him first. Vic and Ronnie. Ronnie has to stop Vic from killing him. He tells him to get out of here. It's too personal for you. And then Ronnie just hangs out. He's able to get Diro's phone number from the guy, and then he kills him. Which Shane is pretty much down below, just kind of waiting and watching this whole thing. And he goes up after Ronnie leaves, and he ends up cutting off the guy's feet to make it look like the Armenians did it. And then we have...
Yeah, what a hack job. Let's be real. Jesus.
Which I don't think that was an Armenian thing necessarily. I think that was just that Margot's guy who just had like the feet fetish thing. But hey,
yeah,
I guess the regular Farmington cops aren't too much to put all that together. Then we have Dutch. He's at the barn. He's talking to a guy who claims that he killed his wife 2 years ago. But he's okay now because of Final Jeopardy, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But his friend who he hired to kill his wife, he wants to get him arrested now because he's kind of like, interested in his girlfriend, so he kind of wants to get him out of the picture, as you do. We find out Billings happened to be the detective on this case 2 years ago, so Dutch asks him to help with it, which Billings comes in. He's pretty much still doing his lawsuit, and he's really doesn't even want to be there. He just wants to get his payday and go home. So he's just like dragging the whole episode. But you know, Dutch and Bill, the DA, kind of just keep downing on Billings and stuff, and it finally gets him motivated. That Billings, he just walks in the room after like a couple of minutes, gets a confession out of the suspect, and then later Claudette, Dutch, and the DA show Billings the video of him actually being a good detective, which goes against his case. So they said they're pretty much going to shut down his lawsuit. And we find out later that his lawyer says, "Oh yeah, you got to go back to work tomorrow."
It's like, well, my doctor. Meet with him all you want. Just make sure your shift starts tomorrow morning.
And then the Billings like, I don't know what's between 0 and like the minimum amount of efforts, but we're gonna call that zone the Billings from now on. I love Billings.
Oh, and then Claudette was like, "Seems court and stay like the usual what you were doing."
As usual, in other words.
Yeah, I don't see any.
So Vic and Aceveda meet and kind of they look through the blackmail files. Vic wants to use the files to get his job back, but Aceveda doesn't really think it's a good idea. The strike team managed to track down the suspects in the one case. And they go and raid the place. They're met with some gunfire. It's a little bit of a tight situation until Vic shows up just in time to drive his car through the building and save the day. And then later, while they're securing that crime scene, Danny is attacked because the room wasn't cleared properly and there was a guy hiding out in there. Claudette informs Vic that the decision regarding his badge has been pushed at least 30 days because I guess one of the people on the panel is sick or retired or something. But yeah, so he's got at least 30 more days in office. Shane meets with Resident again and tells him that now he's the only one that can protect him. So they're going to have to work together. And Vic goes and meets with Cruz and tells him that Resident has all his blackmail files and the Armenians are coming after him. So we kind of have Vic, Ronnie, and Shane working together again while still lying to each other, but they're kind of working both sides of this Armenian Mexican gang war, just a little puppet mastering. And that's pretty much the end of our season premiere. What do you guys think?
It's fine. I didn't expect it to go off to hot. I was like, who's the other member of the strike team? What's his name?
Ronnie.
Yeah, well, Ronnie pops the bullets, and then you hear Vic, and then Shane has to come up with a plan to make it thing, and then he's right on the spot when it happens. Like, he just has never learned to, like, you're pretty easy to figure out, like, when you do these stupid shit. But overall, I thought it was an okay, like, introduction. I'm excited to see where it rolls. I think the next 2 episodes are better than the first. But I do love Billingsley's, like, just dipshit portrayal. Like, he walks in with those big glasses. I just need to look at the file. Oh, I don't know. Everything's a little spacey. What?
If I had some sushi, it would help me think a little better.
No, I had a lot of fun with this episode actually. I kind of felt like we were back like immediately when Shane shows up at his house and Mara's tied up and they're fucking with Shane there and he tells him, hey, like I'm not like I would never hurt your family, and then Vic just hits him the line like Lim was family, like God, jeez, okay, all right, we're like okay, we're here, like it like I immediately had more faith in this season, like just from the first 5 minutes, and honestly, I love the story. I love where we're kind of going with Ronnie, how Ronnie's like getting his hands more and more dirty. I really want to see where that goes. This is, I think, maybe the first time when we've had Vic and Aceveda teaming up, and it actually kind of means something where they both kind of have some skin in the game. I I really like how these stories are being set up. I really like how they're fleshing out so far. Like I'm really excited to see where the season goes.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess we will
Absolutely.
go and see where the next episode takes us, which episode 2 titled Snitch. Back to my one-word titles. Good
Which
stuff.
seems like the most cookie cutter fucking like title. If this hasn't been a title of an episode, I don't understand it at all.
Well, it's because there's not a whole lot of snitches in this area. So.
Oh.
But yeah, so we start.
Yeah, they
out,
normally die, don't they? They normally die.
We start out. Vic takes Shane to where he's holding Armbolas, pretty much, and he's kind of giving Shane some snide remarks and stuff the whole time about everything, about how this is where he killed Guardo and all that stuff, which he wouldn't have had to do if Shane had just like been upfront and honest and everything. But they inform Barlos that Cruz is looking for him, so he's in some trouble. So then we have Cruz and Vic talking. He tells Vic that he's arranged to have Rezian killed in jail after Vic told him about Rezian being the one that has his blackmail files. So Vic informs Shane, and then Shane goes and lets Rezian know that, yeah, you're in trouble, but we're going to try to protect you, so don't worry. Claudette informs everyone that the mayor has had the good idea of putting a top 10 gang list and publishing it in all the newspapers, which all the cops agree is a really bad idea. And all it's going to do is make the gangs kind of act out in order to move up the list. Which there's a murder pretty quick.
No.
Which appears to be gang related too. So I don't know.
No.
Shit. Oh, what?
Wait, once they're literally the politicians in the Shield are the mayor and Jaws. They get warned about shit, and they're like, "Man, what the fuck you talking about? Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're
No, it's a
stressing
good
over
idea. It's a
nothing."
top 10 list. Everyone loves those. Yeah, so Vic and Shane are investigating a little bit. They go and visit the One-Niners outside the leader, Moses, and he tells them that the One-Niners weren't behind the murder. And then they kind of ask for his help in protecting Resnian in jail, since they know they have some of the gang members or the jail with them. Meanwhile, Dutch and Billings are investigating the death of a woman who was killed by a falling cinder block. They had talked with her boyfriend slash band member, played by Scoot McNairy, a great little character actor. But he tells them that pretty much that since they rented out the space for their band practices, all the local residents have been harassing him during their rehearsals and stuff. We see Danny's getting a little bit jumpy since she was attacked in the last episode. She kind of pulls a gun on the guy when they're going through the apartments, which maybe wasn't necessarily the right thing, but who knows. Dutch, they're questioning all these people not getting anywhere. So then Billings is harassing Dutch about it. So then Dutch is he's had enough. He's like, all right, everybody, we're going back to the barn. So they get a bus and haul all these people back to the barn. And pretty much for the rest of the episode, they're just chilling in the barn. Eventually, Billings and Dutch kind of realize that everyone's kind of looking out for the building owner a little bit. So they go and question him, and they kind of catch him in a lie about the alibi that he told them at the beginning of the episode, and he ends up confessing. So it was kind of an accident, but kind of not. So that takes care of that case. Vic and Shane respond to a double homicide where a witness who is not afraid to be a snitch tells them it was the Spook Street gang. And not just the Spook Street gang, it was kids on bikes that did it. And apparently, somehow, it gets out that Spook Street is working with Al Qaeda, which Vic says is BS, but they have to look into it anyway. So Vic, they talk to the Spook Street gang leader, who he also says the Al Qaeda thing was just a joke that he made about trying to get them some attention, and I guess the little teenager kid ran with it. But he gives Vic the information that leads to the shooters, so they go and they find him and arrest him. And as they're arresting him, the whole little area there is just like chanting for the Spook Street gang. They're throwing a nice little party, so their rep is going up a little bit. So this kind of helped them. And this kid, when they take him to the barn, he actually has a lawyer, like right away. So that's pretty cool. But he ignores the lawyer immediately, and he's confessing to the whole thing, taking credit for it. He's acting all big and bad, and Claudette just goes off on him, which the lawyer ends up filing a complaint for some of the language that she used when she was going off on him. Then we have Corinne and Cassidy visit Vic at the barn. Corinne kind of asked him what was going on about what Mara told her. And he says, no, just trust me. It'll be okay. And then while they're at the barn, Cassidy, who could talk to any detective, if she would have talked to Dutch or to Claudette, the season would probably be over right now. But she just happens to talk to Billings about she wants to get her dad arrested for tying up Mara and stuff. But Billings, being the detective he is, goes and tells Vic about it. He's like, teenagers, I got you. Don't worry about it. Then we have Shane talking with the witness in Resnian's case from the docks. And he manages to put some fear in him about testifying, even though they have a deputy in there with him. And later, Claudette informs Shane that the witness had recanted his story. So Resnian's, the charges are pretty much going to fall off, and he's going to get out. And Vic gives Agent Olivia some info on Armbolas and all the guns that he had stashed at his offices and stuff. So later, Vic and Shane show Armbolas ICE raiding his offices and tell him that between ICE and crews looking for him, he just needs to get out of town. And they've made arrangements to send him to Mexico, pretty much using the same context that we're going to use for Lem. So that gets him out of the picture. Shane asks Vic if they can be cool again, and Vic tells him he needs to keep Mara in check. He's like pretty much, I'm going to work with you to help keep my family safe, but we're not cool. Shane gets a call that Resnian was attacked in jail, but he's still alive. So Shane goes and talks to him. He tells Resnian that if it wasn't for him, he would be dead, so that he needs to trust him. And then Vic goes and talks with Cruz and tells him that Armbolas is gone and Resnian is still alive. And he says that, hey, I'm going to help you out, but I need to get my badge back permanently. Oh, and I also want like 10 grand a week. So they're pretty much just still stoking this gang war between the two factions, the Armenians and the Mexicans there, as we come to the end of this episode.
Go ahead, Mark. You can go first.
Oh yeah, this is a fun little episode. We got the. I mean, I like them arresting the kid, and the kid's like, yeah, we're going to Spook Street, and the lawyer's like, dude, shut up, and he's like, no, I want to tell him about all this murder I did.
Is this when Claudette gets in trouble for using the N-word?
Yeah.
Which,
it's like I don't want to use that word on you.
Which seems really
Yeah, you're
bad.
not worth it to me.
No, like I like it. This is fun, and then we get to see like at least the startings of like the gang war that they're cooking up to do that. Which, I mean, I don't know why they haven't thought about this before. I mean, like this feels like it just solves a lot of problems.
But it's going to be challenging though, because Vic he's pretty much telling like lies to so many different parties, and he's going to have to keep them straight and everything. But yeah, we'll see.
I thought Vic was supposed to also be out of a job. Like it feels like he should be fired now more so than ever, and like he's still just doing stuff.
It's yeah. Go ahead, sorry, Mark.
I'm good. Go ahead.
I'm still trying to figure out where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're laying if they're laying crumbs, they're not doing a great job to keep me invested to be like nuclear final episodes. But yeah, I'm interested to see where we go from here. But yeah, I think that's fine. The thing is, the worst. I think the Shield took a dip when they made Claudette the head of the thing, because you take out her basically on the field, interrogating, doing the stuff that I love Claudette to do. So when she has those moments, they're like awesome. But yeah, and I don't think they've brought back her illness yet. I think that's the start of the next episode when they introduce it.
I think that kind of comes back in this next episode. Yeah,
which is just hilarious.
She's trying a new medication. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll take us to episode 3, Money Shot. So we see Shane sweeping Resnian's office for bugs, which the bug is in his little sweeper tool, anything. So we got Vic and Ronnie are listening to it from their vehicle. Resnian tells Shane that he needs his help getting back all the confiscated guns. So later, Shane brings Vic to meet Resnian, and Vic pretty much just flats out tells Resnian, yeah, I robbed the money train. It was me and Lem and a couple of his buddies. But yeah, that money's long gone. But I'll do you a solid. I'm going to grant you 3 wishes. If you want these guns, that can be wish number 1. And then once those 3 wishes are done, we're straight.
It's like Shane and them had nothing to do with it, so we should just kill you. You could. If you like, I'm like, what are you doing? This is terrible negotiation too.
Vic knows that his 3 wishes are more valuable.
Right.
So
like that fucking genie lamp isn't fucking broken.
So now we got a little heist episode going. So we got Shane stakes out the warehouse where the police are storing the guns at. And meanwhile, Vic goes to get a blackmail file that he thinks will help them be able to get the guns. But lo and behold, the blackmail box is gone. So Vic goes off and confronts Aceveda. And Aceveda tells Vic that he took the box and hid it so that Vic wouldn't be tempted to use it, which clearly he was just about to use it. So Aceveda might have been right. And they pretty much go back and forth a little bit, but Vic has to get out of there. Vic meets with the agent Olivia, telling her that he's got another lead for her. And at this point, she starts getting suspicious that he's doing all these nice things for her. And what does he expect in return? But he just tells her, hey, my time's coming to an end. I want to make sure I get as many bad guys off the street as I can. Danny gives Billings a case about a missing girl. Dutch talks to the girl who reported her missing. Then we go and Dutch goes to see the mother, but the mother says that she's not missing. She just went away for a few days. And if they need any more information, they'll have to talk to her son, because he's kind of taken off the mantle of man of the house since the husband/father died. He goes back with Danny, and they find out that the girl is there now. So they bring her back to the barn so Danny can talk with her. And Danny kind of tells her a little bit about her experience getting attacked. And then she opens up to Danny and tells her that she was raped, which hearing a teenage girl in distress, Billings, all of a sudden he wants to help. So he does a little digging and finds the house that she said she was held at. They go and they bring in a suspect. But he says it wasn't rape. It was a therapeutic experience with two boys her age, because her brother found out that she was a lesbian. So this is just a show with interesting therapy techniques when people are gay. So
it was on the up and up. All right, problem solved.
Man.
I guess y'all can go home.
I'm really confused. I'm really confused how this didn't just catch on. You know, like just giving the people you think to just a male just change their mind.
Yeah,
that's the most 2000 shit I've ever heard in my life.
I also love at the end he's like,
equivalent to eating a watermelon seed and a watermelon growing in your stomach. What? What are you talking about?
I also love he's like, oh yeah, I got him to sign some. I got her to sign some paperwork, and yeah, it was on the up and up. You know, consult our legal team.
I need the Shield rebooted in 2025, where these fuckers have to like look into their phones. Can you imagine the people in Farmington going fucking down? There's a whole block taken out. Like they're all losing their home and everything. The Caesars, if they bring back that, which again I didn't look into that shit when all that shit was going on. Wild.
Yeah, so like Mark said, that guy's got some legal armor behind him. So I don't know if he's going to get arrested, but the brother gets arrested. So the family isn't too happy about it. The one girl who said that she was missing comes. I think maybe they might have been romantically involved. That's why she said that she was missing. But yeah, the victim, she just yells at her, tells her to get out of her face because now her family's being destroyed and she's going to blame it on her. But yeah, so that's a fun little case of the week. Speaking of cases of the week, so we have a porn shop owner who gives Claudette a tip about a drug dealer who wanted to do some business with him, but apparently he only pays the girls in drugs. So Claudette ends up giving the case to Ronnie, who sends Tina and Julian undercover as porn stars. Hey, Julian's still on the show. Who knew? They arrest
Why?
when he tries to give her drugs for sexual favors. But they're going to go ahead and decide to use him to get to his supplier. They end up going to the supplier's house and they get attacked by a dog who Ronnie has to fight off. And unlike Shane, he doesn't shoot the dog. He just punches it a couple of times to get it to get off his arm.
Yeah.
They find out that the porn shop owner actually tipped off the guy because he didn't want to get that guy in trouble. He just wanted to get the middleman in trouble. So that kind of takes care of that one. So back to our Vic and Shane heist.
Pause, just real quick. Is the only reason for the young officer to be in there to fuck shit up and get sexually assaulted?
Well, and to flirt with Dutch a little bit, yeah. So.
Like, yeah, every episode just... natural, small but natural, grabs the guy by the dick. Oh, the next episode, like, who cleared this room? Oh, no, just gets in trouble. Like, every chance she gets, fucks everything up.
But she claims that she wasn't responsible for clearing that room, so I don't know.
I mean, like, we don't know. I mean, like, it'd be funny if it's Julian. That's my money. We're gonna find out it's Julian.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh boy. So yeah, Vic and Shane, they pull over Burnout, who's been on the show before. He's got a nice new car, and I love where Vic asks for his license and registration, and as soon as he hands it over, he puts it in his pocket. It's like, oh, we're gonna have to arrest you because you're driving without license and registration. So they take his car and get it towed with Shane inside so that he can get inside the warehouse. So they just drop the vehicle and Shane off in the warehouse and just leave him alone all day. So he gets to load the guns up into the vehicle while Vic is on lookout. But the ex-cop that's watching Vic's family calls Vic and tells him that Matthew is just wandering around outside. So Vic leaves the heist and races home, where he finds that Corrine is getting arrested because Cassidy and her friend were drinking. So now with Vic gone, Shane has to get all the guns out on his own, which he does. He pretty much just drives out with them. Vic does show up for the exchange, though. But once they get there to drop off the guns, Vic kind of is acting like, oh, I got a really bad feeling about this. And then he says something like, here's some sort of radio or something. So he tells Shane, we need to get out of here. So Resnian gets in the car with him and they get out of there just before Ice shows up and arrests Resnian's guys and takes the guns back. They try to convince Resnian that one of his men must have betrayed him. So they kind of go through the office and Vic like plants a bug on one of his second in command's phone. So Resnian gives them the names of the guys he thinks are loyal to him, which is what Vic wanted all along, is the list of the names that he thinks people might know about being able to go after his family. So they're going to get all that off the board to kind of take care of the Armenian threat. Vic goes and sees Corinne and Cassidy, but it doesn't go well. He ends up getting a little violent with Cassidy a little bit. He just catches himself, and then Corinne kind of kicks him out of the house. Meanwhile, Shane goes home where Mara is pretty much packing up all their stuff. I guess it looks like they might be moving out of there. But he tells her that he needs the file of all the crimes and stuff that he wrote up to give to Vic, to show Vic that he can trust him. Although he tells her, like, I have another copy. It's fine, but I just need to show some Vic some of this so he'll trust me again. Dutch does an interesting maneuver where he arranges for Danny to get a desk job helping Claudette, because Claudette's kind of struggling a little bit with the new medication for her illness. But he kind of plays them against each other because he thinks that Danny kind of shouldn't be on the street right now with what he heard her talking about with the one suspect. So it's kind of two birds, one stone. And then we have Ronnie tells Vic that, the more and more we try to get out of this, we just get pulled deeper and deeper into this big mess. And I'm not going to go down for Shane or you. So Ronnie's starting to get a little bit unsure of everything that's going on.
Now?
Shane...
Took you fucking long enough.
Shane comes in and he gives Vic the file to prove his loyalty. And Vic's like, Shane, I understand now. You did what you thought you had to do at the time. No one knew what Lem was really going to do. So I guess we can work together again. But then as soon as Shane leaves, Vic gives Ronnie just like a sneer. As you can tell that he's still playing Shane, and they still intend to take him out once this is all over. So that's the end of this episode.
Yeah, I think we're building towards something. Like, I still don't know what the exact payoff where we're going. The Shane and kind of working together. The Cassidy situation, I didn't really care that much for it. I understand like her being drinking with a friend and cop, like it's just a weird situation.
That's excessive getting arrested for that.
Yeah, it's a little definitely doesn't seem 2000s. It definitely seem 2025. But overall, not a bad episode at all. Like, it's there are moments. I hate the previously on the Shield shit because they just bring back the dumbest shit possible. I'm like, oh yes, by the way, Claudette does have that illness. So she looks at the other girl, hey, you might want to take over when she can't handle it. Claudette has not fucking shown one sign of anything this entire. Oh, but by the way, it's there. Pretty soon we're gonna have Antoine Mitchell show back up and be like sucking on my balls. He's like, what? Wait, what? He'll be there. We'll see the clip. Something will show up. It's just they do so. They don't know how to. They don't know how to weave a story very well at all. They're just like, oh yeah. Wait, I was scrolling through. I
Remember
forgot
this
that she
guy
had
from 2 seasons
lupus.
ago?
Yeah, she had
I mean,
lupus. What if we bring back the gay Hayden Cobb, which Julie hasn't been for 4 seasons, and his wife disappeared with
Well,
no
he
mention.
shows up for like 2 episodes or 2 minutes in an episode, so
She
I
has
think they
not
kinda give up
showed
on
up
developing that
since.
character.
We have not
She
heard a
the
whisper
wife and the kid are
about
long
Julie.
gone.
That was a massive storyline for the first 3 seasons. Him being gay, him having a child, him doing this. He put her through the headboard, and we haven't heard about her since.
And
Crazy.
I think
Wilder, the show was better for it.
I think the
Agreed.
only the only way I think she shows up at this point is if like he gets killed, and then she just shows up at the station, and then everybody sees her and like, wait, who are you again?
Life insurance, please.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh yeah, you know, I like where they're going with Ronnie. I think honestly he's probably the one of the
Yeah.
more interesting characters to me, just because like he's like he always felt like the smart one, at least of the group, and now he's like I just want to get out, man. Like this is like I don't know what we're doing here. Like I've seen this before. We're gonna get jammed up here, and I don't really want to be around for it. Like you know, we're something is gonna happen. I don't know what it is. Something's gonna happen. I also another thing I do want to point out. Really, I kind of like how like no time has passed from like the fourth season to like now. Like it's felt like
yeah.
everything that's happened felt like it's been like what like 4 months. Like it's been like no time at all. Like there's something kind of interesting about that.
Yeah, I think from like the fourth season to the end of the show was like maybe 6 months.
That's fucking crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's very it it's weird when a show does that and you don't really notice it. Sort of like Breaking Bad. When you
Mhm.
kind of sit there and like, oh, everything that's happened has been a year of Walter's life.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's one of the best shows of all time. Glad you agree. Cool. You want to take us through Don's sabbatical?
Yeah, let's go through that. We start out the first episode, time zones. We start out by seeing Freddy of all people, like give like this incredible pitch for these Accutron watches, something about like time to change the conversation or whatever. Like whatever Freddy said, Peggy was like, you know what? I think I got a better one liner, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. And you know, but she seems to like Freddy's idea. She was a little bit thrown that Freddy of all people brought it to her. And then she goes and gives it to Lou, and Lou is like, yeah, I don't think so. I think we're good. So you know, because so you know, everybody, Lou is acclimated into Don's position, and you know, Peggy doesn't like him. Well, what do you know? Peggy doesn't not like her boss unless it's Ted, and she kind of wants to fuck Ted. But other than that, like, does not like her boss. Uh,
To be fair, total cocksucker. Just one dollar. This guy sucks
Yeah, he's
royally.
not
what,
great.
what are you
He's
talking
really
about?
wishy-washy.
It's not like I'm gonna get to several examples of Lou sucking throughout my
Okay,
time talking.
I was about to say if you about defended him, I would have kicked
He's
you
been the
fucking
best
off the
boss on the
show.
whole show.
Like you would not been able to be on the show. I could not deal if you were like Lou's not that bad. Hey, wait, he redeems himself. Fuck off.
He takes really good care of his secretary, so it's okay.
Oh my god, he just is like a fucking wet blanket, a wet fart. As soon as it happened, I was just like, why'd you give me a laugh from the I didn't really like that you just want me to tell you no? Well, fuck all. Like what? I hate you.
Yeah, so everybody's getting acclimated to Lou. We then show up to Ken. Ken, you know, is up to here with accounts. He's talking to everybody. He's like, you know what? I got this shoe account. I can't go to this fucking meeting. Joan, why don't you handle this thing? I can't do it. So she goes handle the shoe account. Don is going to California. and there we see this very luxurious shot of him entering the airport, and see Megan looking like a movie star getting out of the car, and you know, and it turns out she's also landed a TV show, so things are going really well for Megan. Though, as we spend more time, it has become clear that Don has not told her that he has been, let go for a bit. So she's a bit in the dark, at least on that aspect. Joan then goes to that dinner, and she finds out that they may be getting fired from the shoe company because this new marketing guy wants to make a name for himself, wants to shake things up. So she wants at least a couple days, at least so that she can at least combat what he's throwing at her. Uh, Oh yeah, and something about Peggy having a hard time seeing Ted, because he's going back and forth from LA and such. Don meets up with Pete, and Pete looks like he is really enjoying himself in LA. He looks like he's happy. He's got some real estate girl that he's banging. He's haven't we all wanted to see Pete make good? And we're seeing Pete make good here, and
It was
we're all happy
Trudy
about
that was
that.
holding him back this whole time. And in New York, he just need to get out of there.
He could have got what Johnny Sacks got, and I wouldn't have been too upset.
We then see Joan. She goes to some college professor to learn about some marketing. Looks like she's at least been going to see this guy for a bit to kind of get a better grasp on the business. Uh, and he also asked her about some business stuff that she actually knows a lot about, and I think the guy was surprised about it. And he was about it at least like a non-dick way. I don't really know, but it was funny. She had some agency in that meeting. Oh yeah, Don buys a TV and Megan gets upset about it because Jesus, Don, a 20-inch TV? How can anybody afford this shit?
I'm glad I lived when I did.
Is
I'll
that the
tell you
one?
right now, I wouldn't have been able to make it in the fucking '60s with 20 inches of TV. I fucking kill me now. I'd just go to Times Square just to watch the fucking billboards versus watch that shit.
Uh, Peggy then has an argument with a young Latino boy about 10 years old, about a clogged toilet, and they seem to also have a relationship. They
Hilarious. What
My
is
mother
Peggy
told me
getting
to yell
paid?
at
Peanuts?
you.
Why is she getting a communal what are we doing here? And then all of a sudden, my mom told me to yell at you because you don't understand. I don't know what she's saying. It's one of the best back and forth of the season.
Yes, and then oh yeah, and then Don and Megan have some weird sex because they feel,
Yeah.
it's weird. And then he has to go back to New York and to you know live his cover or whatever. Uh, Roger meets with his daughter, and she says she forgives him for all the things he's done. And Roger is like, "Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? You in a cult?" He's like, you don't got to worry about it. So they seem to have a nice time there.
Oh
Uh,
God, what a wild fucking open where Roger's just sitting there with the phone on his dick. I was like, I saw way too much of fucking Roger here.
uh, Don's flight, he meets an attractive woman. They seem to hit it off. They go back and forth, and what do you know? Don decides not to have sex with her. Uh, you know, Good on you, Don. It's only taken several years, but hey,
Well, it's because she didn't live in the same building as him. It'd be too much work.
yeah, it's really rough on that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then at the later, Peggy goes back to Lou with Freddy's original idea, and Lou still didn't take it. And cannot tell you enough. Peggy really doesn't like Lou. She really, really hates Lou. Uh, Joan then learns the shoe guy went back on his promise, like he was going to fire them, like he said. And so she calls him angrily. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Listen, I know you're fighting for your job." Like, no, I'm fighting for your job because now you're gonna have to do all this bullshit that we do. You're gonna be competing against us, and that's gonna get you fucking fired. And you can only get rid of us once. Like, I don't know what your plan is like after that when you totally fuck this up. And the guy's like, "Okay, why don't you tell me what I should do?" He's like, "Well, you can cancel the meeting." No, 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 no. Tell me what I got to do from here on out because I'm out of my depth here. So so Joan is able to save that account, and what's face Kenny was happy about it, so I think if we leave with her, like him letting her like also handle that account. So Joan is steadily racking up some accounts. We then end off the episode with Freddy meeting up with Don, and what do you know? Freddy has been getting ideas from Don because Don is like trying to figure out stuff to do, and he's basically just like handing these ideas off to Freddy so he can freelance them to other places. Sometimes Sterling Cooper, sometimes other places. So Freddy's out there making a name for himself because of Don, which hilarious. Uh,
You do take the term free into freelance. Like, I'm
uh,
gonna get one more coffee before I leave.
uh,
Great.
we then end off with Peggy getting home, and after her maintenance guy goes home, she breaks down crying, and then see Don living in a kind of sulking in his loneliness outside on his patio area because he can't get his screen door closed, and yeah, that is the end of Time Zones.
Yeah, I thought this was a kind of like a good kind of seeing where everyone's at now. 'Cause there's been a little bit of time, I guess, between the seasons here, so it's good to kind of check in with everyone, see how they're doing. I like that Joan is getting some more development. I really liked was she went and like met with like a finance or marketing professor or something to like get like a good ideas for like how to talk to this guy and like convince him to keep the business with them and stuff. And of course, Pete's just off doing his stuff, and Don's really interesting, kind of seeing how he's kind of reacting to his current position. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty solid.
He's reacting to it by not telling anybody about it.
No, just Freddy.
Yeah, I just like to be back into the world of this thing, so it just works for me. I thought I was like, this is gonna be really weird with Don being out of the picture, but everything worked. So yeah.
It's almost as if Don, uh, kind of a tough guy to work with. Like,
Some would say.
huh? I guess let's just yeah, we can go. I guess we can keep going and go to a day's work. Uh, Don. Then oh yeah, it's Don meets with Don, and I
Yeah.
didn't write.
I don't
Uh,
know. They had to have done that on purpose.
yeah. Don meets with Don. Yeah, Don. She's still doing secretarial work for him. Still keeping him in the loop, so to speak, kind of keeping up with his correspondence, and also just making it look like to his family and to Megan that he's still working.
Mhm.
So she's helping him out with that. Sally and her friends, and they want to go. They are going to go to the city because Sally's roommate's mother had died. They're like, hey, you know what? We're going to the city. Why don't we just go shopping instead? Why not?
As you
What?
do.
Yeah, it wasn't our mom who died. Uh, So we then go to Pete. He was trying to close some Chevy deal, like with the dealerships or whatever. I kind of got lost in the weeds of what exactly he got. Um, but he ended up getting laid in the office, and there was a funny moment with him and Ted. You know,
Oh yeah.
uh, we then go on. It's apparently Valentine's Day, or it's about to. I think it is. Yeah, it's Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
Valentine's Day.
And then Peggy realized she has no plans for Valentine's Day, and Ginsburg makes fun of her at her expense. She's like, "Oh no, she's got plans. February 14th, masturbate gloomily."
I love Ginsburg.
I'm
Uh,
ashamed that I gave him bad guy of the week at one point.
he grows on you.
I mean, he deserved it for the week that he got it, but man, he ripping Peggy is hilarious.
she then goes in the office. She sees flowers on her secretary's desk, and she's like, "Ah, it's sweet. They got some flowers. Who are these from?" And then she thinks about it, like, "Ah, fuck, it's probably from Ted. Fucking asshole." Like,
Ted.
well, you know what? I'm just gonna call him, tell him, I'm gonna leave a veiled message to his secretary. Say, hey, the account, we lost the account. There's nothing we could do. And the secretary's like, "Oh, what account's he talking about?" No, he'll know the account. Don't worry.
Even though her secretary is definitely giving different vibes on those flowers.
Yeah, it turns out, yeah, those are actually for Peggy's secretary. Her husband had sent to her, and the secretary's like, "Yeah, I don't know how to tell her those aren't her flowers."
We all know you're engaged. You don't need to do flowers again, like embarrass me. I'm like, Peggy, come.
But Peggy had some really bad guy of the week behavior in this episode.
100%.
What?
First time
She
I've ever even thinking of considering her.
she's just lonely, okay? Like what's she
Oh
getting?
my god, do you just fucking defend anybody in this show? If we turn on him, you're like, guys, you don't know him like I know him. I've watched Mad Men 45 times. Peggy's good.
Oh, anyway, yeah, Don then has a business lunch with a guy trying to figure out his options. He ends up running into Jim Hobart from McCann. So McCann maybe thinks they have a shot at getting Don now. Uh, when Sally's out with her friends, she does realize she leaves her purse at a shop, and she has to figure out how to make it back into town. So she heads over to Sterling Cooper and to try to find her dad. And you know what she finds? Her dad's not there. Lou is at the office, and Lou is like, "Yeah, I don't know where your dad's at. He isn't here. So why don't you look for him? Not here."
Get the
Where
fuck
was
out.
Dawn when I needed her?
I feel like, yeah, if he could have told a child to get the fuck out of here, he would.
No.
He was doing everything at least but that. It's like, how do I tell this 15-year-old girl to get
He's
the
like,
fuck out of my face right
how
now?
do I draw this on a map for you?
So yeah, then we then get into the funniest conference call ever, where Pete tells him about the Chevy dealership business that he got, but they end up getting into a fight about it, whether or not Bob or Pete should handle it. And even though they think the old conference thing is broken, Pete's hearing them badmouth him all the way. So
Speakerphone technology wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Don then gets back to his apartment. He finds Sally's been waiting for him. She doesn't tell him she went to his office, but she tells him, "Hey, I got stuck here. We're going to a funeral." And she's like, "You got like I need a note from you, and like I just need money for the train." Don's like, "No, I can drive you back. It's cool. What's this note? What should this note say?" He's like, I don't know. Just tell the truth on it. Like it's cool. Don. Just
Dawn's like, the truth? What's that?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, and yeah, before he leaves, he gets a call from Don saying, "Hey, Sally was at the office and she talked to Lou." And he's like, "Ah, God damn it! All right, well, got to do this shit." And then, of course, Lou is very upset at Don, for not being there. And even though she's like, I was buying your wife some perfume, for Valentine's Day because you forgot." He's like, "Well, fuck, I had to talk to this kid and you weren't here. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about it." And of course, he gets Joan involved in the whole thing. He said, "Yeah, I was cool with sharing Don, to kind of deal with Don's correspondence. Now it's affecting her work. I'd like you to move her somewhere else." And of course, Joan is like, "Well, I don't know, this is kind of fucking bullshit. You sure you can't deal with this? Whatever. Just tell her to leave the keys, and like you just send her somewhere else. It's not my problem. Like whatever." Uh, yeah, and I mentioned here twice that Lou is a bitch, because he can't handle talking to children or secretaries for some reason. Like uh, Sally and Don then begin their drive back to her school. They get in an argument because Don was like, "I don't know why you let me lie to you like that," and he's like, "Well, because it's fucking weird because you're my dad, and like it's weird that I caught you in a lie." And then we get into a funny conversation until she brings it right back down to earth. Like, "What? I was in your building. I could have ran into that woman." And then it's like, "Ah, shit. Now I feel bad about laughing at the last scene." Yeah, we get to the flower thing, and yeah, that is spiraling out of control because Peggy goes from, "You know what, I don't want these flowers. I'll give them back to my secretary. You know what, I just want you to get rid of these flowers. I don't want to look at them." And the secretary is like, "Listen, they're for me. I didn't mean to embarrass you there, but they're from me. And she's like, why didn't you tell me any of that? And like, I don't know. So Peggy gets really upset about it. Uh, but hey, the secretary gets flowers. We then go see Bert walk out to the front desk because Joan did had to rearrange secretaries, so he brought Meredith in to service Lou's desk. But he has Dawn. She had Dawn out there on the desk, and Bert didn't like that very much. He says, she goes to Jones like, people can see her from the elevators.
I'm all for change, but
yeah, yeah. Bert's really old, you guys. Like it's
he's grandfathered in. It's okay.
So yeah, then yeah, we got to do that. Something about Pete, getting all hot and bothered by his, realtor girlfriend. I had a note there, but we can skip that. Don then takes Sally to a diner. He tells her the truth why he's not at the office. He's like, yeah, they put me on sabbatical. I told some weird story about how I, would take money from John's pants while they were at the whorehouse I grew up in, and they apparently didn't like that. And she's like, "Hey, why aren't you with Megan?" And he kind of, tells her very nicely, "Well, because I don't want to be in California, like it."
My job's
Yeah.
here.
So, they at least, he at least makes Sally feel better about the whole situation, at least sort of. Peggy then goes to Joan, asks her to switch the secretaries around again. But Joan is like, I can't.
Got flowers. Get her out of here.
Yeah, it's like I can't do that. Like, all right, because they're both black. None of them can sit in the front. Like like Lou doesn't want to work with Don. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Everybody's very big already. So you just get the fuck out of here. And then Jim Cutler is like, hey, I just realized you have two jobs. So maybe you want to move upstairs and do account stuff, and maybe you can find somebody else to do this personnel manager job. And as it turns out, she's like, oh, I like that. So I did not see Meredith with Peggy, but I'm assuming Meredith is with Peggy. We see Peggy's old secretary now with Lou, and now Dawn is the new personnel manager. So people are moving up. We then get a weird moment with Jim, with Roger in the elevator saying, I don't want to think of you as an adversary. So Jim Cutler giving off villain vibes at the end of this episode.
A little tense in that elevator.
We then see Dawn get Sally back to school, and it does seem like they are on a better situation they were before. She says she loves him and she wishes him a happy Valentine's Day, and Dawn, feels very good about, or at least feels better about where his relationship is.
Some say his heart grew 2 sizes that day.
Yeah. A lot of stuff here. Moving secretaries, racism, love. It's all in this week's episode of Mad Men.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Like, it had some really good stuff. Like you said, the conference call with the partners across the coast was really fun. All the secretary stuff, the roses. Like, this might be like the first episode where Peggy was kind of like borderline, if not unlikable. Probably unlikable. She was not on her best behavior this week. But yeah, and then the Sally and Dawn stuff was really good too. It kind of maybe helped them get over that rough patch, or at least kind of get them on the right path. But yeah, we're really solid stuff.
Yes. For the first time ever, Peggy is unlikable as shit. Which I was not expecting fully. I just love when Joan then fire her. Hold on, she's not that bad. What do you want me to do, Peggy? Just give her to somebody else. Well, okay, this person. No, not them. This person. What do you want, Peggy? I don't have this endless secretaries. She hates me. Like, oh, maybe you're the problem. So I found that just so funny overall. Like, I just the worst. Not having to come clean to like kind of got laid off. What the fuck you mean? Yeah, like it's not. I didn't get fired, but I
We're
just
taking a break.
is this when she tells him like this is how it ends? Like is that this episode
No,
or next
it's
episode?
next episode. That's not.
Okay, but yeah, it's just like yeah, writing's on the fucking wall for that for a real long time. What are we talking about? Is this also is next episode also? Because I don't write down notes on Mad Men at all. I know what I saw. Is this also the fucking horrible place that they send Sally, or is that next episode?
Horrible place it sends out.
Yeah, like well, she's at the diner and they're all smoke, like all just
Yeah,
she's
at
at
the diner.
like they're just like I don't know who signs off on this or what the whole situation is, but she went to a worse place than with Betty. I'm just saying these girls around her are terrible influences. Like
No.
she's getting knocked up in a drug addiction by the end of the whole season. I think that's what's happening.
I mean, she's just smoking some cigarettes. It's like, what? Like, yeah,
Jesus.
I mean,
like,
she did
yeah,
grow up in
like,
the 70s.
Yeah. Listen,
I mean,
that has no effect on anybody. I wonder if the next few episodes we'll talk about if anybody's having any problems from smoking cigarettes.
I will say, Glenn, probably like the weirdest kid, maybe the weirdest person on the show by far. He went to a boarding school and now he seems pretty normal. So, boarding school maybe could help out, Sally.
That's
I'm just
only
going to
because Betty
point that
wasn't
out.
around.
We're gonna call him normal.
I mean, he was after. It wasn't like he's like staring at women in the bathroom anymore. I think he grew out of that phase.
I mean, to be fair, an older woman gave him a lock of her hair when he was like a small child, so that's not all on him.
That's fair. Yeah, but overall, good episode.
Okay. Oh, let's finish things up. Third episode. Field trip. We then got again. Dawn finds Dawn swamped of her new position. She is having trouble like at least keeping up with his correspondence and all the other stuff he's doing. And she says, "Hey, but this Alan Silver guy called that TV exec that Don met. He says like he wants to talk to you about Megan. It's like, well, can you call him? It's like I'm fucking phones are ringing off the hook. Like I can give you his number. It's like, no, I don't want his number. I want you to call him. Like whatever. She puts him on hold and she's like, all right, fuck it. I'll just call this guy. And it turns out that Megan, is acting fucking crazy out there.
A little bit.
She maybe tanked an audition, tries to call them back, say, hey, can I do that again? Like, nah, don't worry about it. Tries to see some director like at his house. Like, she's doing some wild shit. And she's like, hey, can you like talk to her? Like she's doing good, just she can't be doing that. Like, that we just can't have that, all right? So Don then decides to make an impromptu trip up to California to try to talk some sense into her. We then see Peggy moping around this episode because she wasn't nominated for Cleo, and and she finds out that they weren't nominated because of the budget thing. And then Ginsburg is like, "See, it wasn't like you missed out on it; you just weren't considered. Feel better now, right?" We see Betty meeting up with her old neighbor friend about some new job that she has because all her kids are old now. So it makes Betty think about being a mom and stuff. Megan and Don meet up again. She's really happy to see him, and then they end up having sex first. But then Don tells her why she's there, and then she becomes angry from that point. It's like, well, shit. Like, oh, do you think I was like gonna be walling in my own pity or some shit? And Don was like, well, I don't fucking know. He's like, oh yeah, like what if I came up to surprise you? It was like, oh yeah, that's a scary thought. Then they get into a fight about that, and Don ends up telling her the truth about what happened to him, that he got fired, and it was pretty much immediately after she left. And then she's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, I don't know, I'm just at home. Like, so you just decided for like the last 3 months to not live up here with me. It's like, well, I'm trying to get my job back. And it's like, you know what? Like, just get out of here. I'm not walking out of my own house. You got to leave. It's fine.
There's no advertising firms in California. I gotta get my job back.
Yeah. Like this is how it ends. Like it's okay. Just go. Just get out of here. And, like she basically tells she doesn't really want to see him anymore. We then after some like kind of meeting kerfuffle of Harry, Jim publishes an article about the firm's computer, and Harry is like, "Hey, why are you publishing this article? We don't have a computer." And Jim is like, "What are you talking about? You said we had a computer." Like, no. Some other guys have a computer, and I told them that we got things from that computer. So there go, our computer. Like, cool, right? And then I swear I rewatch this line all the time because I just think it's the funniest goddamn thing ever. Jim then looks Harry straight in the eyes and says, you have stiff competition, but you may be the most dishonest man I've ever worked with.
I think at some point then Harry is like, "This conversation is over. I'm really not interested," and then just walks out the room.
Harry really is just the worst fucking guy in this show. There's nothing good about him. I love that about him. Yeah. Don finally gets fed up of it. He's like, I'm gonna have a business meeting, try to, figure out what we're gonna do. So tries to see what his options are, and he ends up running into, I think, that girl that was staying with his wife. I think that's who he runs into. But he, I think, thinks it was Roger, so he goes up to see Roger and says, "Hey, look, I got an offer, but I want to come back to work." And Roger's like, "All right, sounds good. Come back on Monday." And Don was like, "The fuck, it was that easy?" Like, okay.
Yeah, you seem
So
to have gotten everything together. You seem to be good to go now.
uh, then after that, he tries to call Megan to try to fix his relationship, but yeah, that looks done. Like I think that one's definitely on its way out. Betty then goes on a field trip with Bobby, and then uh, seems like they're having a pretty good time. She drinks some milk out of the thing, but turns out, Bobby just has to ruin it because he trades her sandwich away, for gumdrops, and like, and what, the kid didn't have a sandwich, so you know what, and then that upsets Betty, and she, you know, yeah, thinks the evening's wrecked, and was enjoyable, and then she goes back to being a bitch afterwards. So that's like,
I mean, to be fair, Bobby just assumed she wasn't going to eat, so.
I mean, yeah, what the fuck? She didn't have a sandwich.
Watch her figure, or so.
I traded them for gumdrops. What the fuck, Mom? Mind your business.
Gumdrops.
I'll get it back. No, don't. What do you want, Betty? Just aside.
I want something to
He made a pretty good deal. There's a lot of gumdrops in that, I must say.
Oh, then we didn't see Don make his way back into the office. Going back into there, he sees Lou, and Lou definitely seems surprised to see him. And he's like, "Huh, I thought Roger would have said something." And he goes up to Roger's office. Guess who is not on time to work this day? Roger. Weird, right? So Don on his way out to try to catch him later, but too late. People see him already, and he gets, kind of gets caught up in this whole thing, trying to, figure out who, he's like, what? I'll just, kind of catch up with everybody, look at the work we're doing.
I know
Eh,
everyone's gonna be so excited to see me that I'm back now, so that they'll want to hang out with me and stuff.
I mean, the underlings are. Everybody who means anything is not upset.
People
Is
who are
not.
working for Lou are definitely excited to have Tom back, except
Yeah,
for one person.
like all those guys are. Like Stan and Ginsburg. Like they're good at seeing him. Lou, not so much. As we saw, Kenny was happy to see him, but not Joan. Joan is like, "Hey, guess who's here right now?" So So we then see word travels fast around the office. Roger does finally show up, and Don is like, "Hey, the fuck, man! Like, you didn't tell anybody I was coming in today." He's like, "What? It's my name on the door. I can do whatever I want. It's cool." He's like,
My
"Whatever."
mom's
Like,
gonna be
I
fine
didn't
with him.
think
My
you
mom's
beat
gonna be
me in.
fine. Your mom seemed angry. No, it's cool. You can come in. Like, I live here too, man. Like,
What's she gonna do? Yell at us?
yeah, like
You're a
what?
guest. She can't yell at you.
Like, geez, Roger, like not. Like,
Yeah. Then of course Jim sees him and he ends up seeing Lou and he's like, Lou is like, listen, I don't care if I have to sell newspapers down in the lobby. You're gonna still keep paying me. I got a 2-year contract.
yeah, Lou's making sure he's locked in.
Then we finally get up to the partners meeting, and Jim is like, "Okay, I figured out Roger. You must have told Don he can come back. The fuck did you do that for?" And then it's like Roger's like, "What? I wanted him back, and he seems good now." And then everybody's like, "What are you talking about? We fired him." Like, no, we didn't. I never would have agreed to that. Like, but yeah, but we told him to leave and take some time off. It was pretty clear that we didn't want him back here anymore. And Jim is like, listen, like Don's like pulling a lot of money. We need a computer. All right. I think we need to tell everybody we're thinking about the future. And if we fired Don, we got money to save up for that computer. And Roger's like, the fuck you talking about? Yeah, we lose a salary, but then we gotta, buy out his partnership shares. Like, it's gonna take years before we're back in the black. Like, that sounds fucking stupid. Like, weirdly enough, like when Roger wants to sound good in a meeting, he can, and it was enough at least for to convince everybody that we're pretty fucked if we got to at least fire Don here. Then yeah, Peggy finally gets around to seeing Don, and she says, "Yeah, nobody missed you around here, so you might as well just get the fuck out of here." So like she didn't miss him at all. We then head back over to Betty real quick, and he talks to Henry about the field trip, and Betty just feels bad, thinks she's being unloved as a mother and such, and that was
She
about it.
has a baby right in her lap.
Yeah. Then then we get to Don. He's being called into the partners meeting, and he is being told that they will let him back. And yeah, he said, but there are some stipulations. And if he breaks any one of them, he will be fired and they will reabsorb his partnership shares. And they, basically are, hey, you got to behave in the office, stick to the script in meetings. You can't drink in the office, and you're going to be working under Lou. Cool? And Don is like, okay. Yeah.
He'll break those fucking things in 3 days, like no questions asked.
Don's going to turn into Vic and find little wiggle room around everything.
I'm not drinking that kind of liquor. I'm drinking other kind of liquor. Calm down.
And by the way,
It's not alcoholic.
You get to be in the office where the last guy who was in there killed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a solid episode. It really, I love Don just kind of just like chilling in the office, talking with everybody, and everyone's freaking out that he's there. And then, like I said, Roger had a really great argument for him. Roger actually stood up for Don. I thought that was really cool after their back and forth history. And Bobby and Betty and their farm adventure, just ragging on the teacher for not wearing a bra and stuff. But yeah, yeah, fun episode.
Yeah, I think it was hilarious. Like overall, for them to just bring him. I was like, how is he getting back? Because of course they were going to bring him back at some point. But like to bring him back and then to have everybody act like there's an animal in this thing. Like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Like, he's not supposed to be here. It just works perfectly how they all played it out. So overall, I thought it was a really strong episode, and I knew when they listed the demands, I was like, Dom's gonna say, okay. Like, I knew Dom was just gonna be like, fine, sure. No issues
they put
there.
the camera on him like he's gonna like argue or fight or something. It's just like
Or like get up and walk out, but like, nope, works for me. Sounds good. And I was like, okay. So overall, pretty solid. Okay. I guess it's time to go to New Jersey. Only 2 episodes, guys. So I can get us out of here in record time.
I mean, it's technically New Jersey. I feel like we spent a lot of time outside of New Jersey.
We definitely do. You're not supposed to know that. Okay, recognize. Soprano home movies. Basically starts Johnny. We have flashback. Johnny Sacks and Tony are outside when Johnny Sacks' house gets raided. He runs back and he drops that gun in the snow. Uh, Kid looks outside this window. I don't think it's a relation to.
He's in Johnny Sacks' house, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, was it like a neighbor?
But
or
I think he
something?
runs. I think it's a person to see. I don't think it's no, because it's not Johnny Sacks' kid.
Okay, so that's a neighbor. Yeah.
It's a neighbor that sees the gun, picks it
Oh,
up,
yeah.
starts shooting it. He ends up, we see him, the kid firing it. Everybody's knocking on. The next morning, you see the Sopranos wake up. You hear banging on the door. Carmela goes, "Is this it? Is this it? Like, is this the day we've been expecting that the feds are at the door?" So I laughed really hard at that. But then they came down. They're arresting Tony for gun with hollow point bullets, and they take him down. They're all driving down. Janice calls and goes, "I should come down the lake." Well, Tony just got arrested, so we're not coming to the fucking lake. Well, if he gets out, we can come. Like, I think he'll enjoy it. AJ fucks up with the worst fucking goatee beard combo ever. So 2000s like looking. So I laughed pretty hard at that.
Not only that, he's got his girlfriend's name tattooed on his arm now.
Yeah. Yeah, name tattoo. He gets. There's no light in the closet. This thing has little tomato sauce all over it. Oh, well, the light didn't work. So basically, gets them wrong clothes, but they're dropping stuff off of the thing. Tony goes. It's kind of an odd scene where a guy takes a shit behind Tony Soprano while he's sitting in the lockup, just sitting there looking at his life. I love the small courtroom scene. They're linking this to a kid that found the gun and shot it for 2 years ago. They can't put it on him. They can't do anything. They're just trying to hurt him. Paul Vincent shows up to he's recovered. He is back to normal health. He's meeting with all the family and talking about the next successions and everything because he doesn't have the heart for it. They're still talking. The lawyer saying we're gonna get Tony for the fullest extent of the law. On the courthouse steps from the back, Tony comes out. HA's girlfriend is like, "He's already out." Like he got just shut the fuck up. Like you're lucky you're at this dinner. And the one guy goes to the case or whatever and goes, I laughed really hard when he's like, "We've been working on a RICO charge for 5 fucking years, and you get him with a handgun. You fucking idiot!" Like, just so mad at us. But Tony, they talk about Tony going to jail, and he's like, "You know what? That might sound nice. So let's do that." So he actually goes. Gets a phone call that they're dropping the charges. Tony and shows up at for his birthday weekend out at the lake. Janice, Bakla, Carmela, all of them are enjoying the weekend, having an interesting time, shooting guns, fishing, playing board games, doing the whole fun things. Janice and Tony tensions is there like always, but they're getting actually along like in a real family dynamic. Tony wakes up the next morning on his birthday, gets a little reward, a little fellatio from Carmela. No one I hope that's not how James Gandolfini finishes in normal life, or explains how he died way too early, because that's the most aggressive orgasm I've ever seen in my life on film. So basically the Sopranos film movie is them just hanging out talking about just family dynamics. It's a really weird episode, I would say, for the most part. Because they're definitely out of elements similar. They're not in New Jersey basically at all at this point. Just talking about trying to get Bakla more involved in the talking about the plans and the future of everything. They end up doing karaoke, drinking, playing Monopoly. Don't know how you guys all played Monopoly, but the first part is how I played Monopoly. Land on free parking. I made a rule: every time I land on my building, I get $100. How about that? And then they keep going. Tony makes an off gesture comment towards Janice. If that's my wife, you Sopranos? What the hell's wrong with you? You guys are uncivilized. Like you're right. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. And they continue playing. And it's like. And it's like under the boardwalk, Jim's got a dick in the mouth, and Buckler punches him in the face. Sucker punches him in the face. Stumbles. They end up fighting around, breaking the board. But before the punch happened, I forgot. Janice was telling a story about his father, and teaching it in like a very like condescending, like putting his dad in a bad light, which is not that's a Tony no, basically, is because like his mom's the bad person. Don't talk about his father, and like don't repeat that to anybody. But that sets him off to basically go after Janice. They end up fighting, bloody, and breaking the thing. Janice draws like real attention to Bachler. It's like he's the head of the fucking family. What are you doing? Like, yeah, I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. Like, don't put it past him. Fucking kill you. Like, that's just how it works. Bachler tries to leave. He ends up smashing his car in the back of the thing. Tony and him going to sleep. Tony wakes up in the middle of the night and goes, "You got lucky. You got lucky with that punch." It's a big ego thing. He's trying to like tell Carmela and stuff like this, like
the rug slipped from out under me.
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen.
and she's like, "Are we fucking talking about this, Tony? Like, I don't care. I was at that
He is
party,
younger than
and
me.
I was at that party, and you don't remember, but I remember you. I knocked that guy out, and we made eye contact. I remember that. Like, Tony, I was a fucking teenager. I don't care." They end up letting it go.
The surgery would have been a different story.
Yeah, and like Tony's sitting on the thing, and Janice goes, "I know what sitting on the fucking dock is all about. Like, I know what that means." And he's just sitting there, and then overall, like, he brings it up again while they're sitting in the dinner. He's like, "Fuck out, like this again?" It was a sucker punch, so it wasn't a fair fight. Bakula says, "Like, you're right, Tony. I shouldn't have done it. I was out of line." He ends up telling Tony to get in the car to drive with him, and they meet for a business deal. But there's a worry, like Bakula's got to have some sort of fear, like, get in the car with Tony. Am I going to come back? Janice kind of like describes Tony in a negative light, and Carmela basically like, shut the fuck, like that's not Tony. Like Tony's not that kind of guy at all. Like don't put him in that light. They meet. They end up coming back. Tony ends up leaving with a group. I think they end up arranging a hit. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So they're at the meeting. They end up arranging a hit, and Bakula goes to finds the kid, the laundromat, and she ends up killing him, shoots him. And I'm really confused. I don't remember seeing if he had something covering his fingerprints on the gun or not, but he ends up like taking it and like drops the gun, kills the guy. The bullet is inside the washing machine as it's going. It's kind of overall like a really crazy like scene, but yeah, he ends up shooting him dead pretty violently too. Like overall, a violent scene. And then Tony gets a call at the end of the show and says that they're rolling into a RICO charge, and if this was more serious, we'd be having this call there'd be glass between us. And then Bakula returns to his family function and hugs his daughter, and that's the end of the episode. So thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a fine episode. I really like the kind of the vacation aspect of it away. The Monopoly game is probably one of the most chaotic Monopoly games in video. I feel like it's a really good episode 13 for like the middle of the season. I don't know how I felt after like a year off from the show, and then you come back and this is the episode you get. I might not have been super happy with it, but it's cool because they made like a big deal about Bobby never killed anybody, and then they get in the fight, and then pretty much the next day, Tony's like, "Okay, now you gotta go kill somebody." So, but yeah, so it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's interesting to see Bobby kind of acting like more aggressively. Like we don't really see that often. I think only other time I can think of is when that like ride got broken and like he ends up beating up that guy, because like Janice and his daughter were like on that ride. Like, and then is it weird that you just did that to Tony? Like almost feeling kind of familiar about it. It's the exact thing that Tony would kind of make fun of him for not doing before, and like this is where like
The family, yeah.
yeah, yeah, Bobby kind of stands his ground on it, and then like Tony just becomes kind of like a like an asshole about it. It's like, if it was before my surgery, like I would have been able, like I would have laid you out, and then Bobby has to be like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, boss, like cool. But yeah, you are right. It is kind of it's a weird episode knowing that this is basically the hey, we're coming back after all this time, and like here, like
It's time for the
we're
final season. Let's go.
That's crazy that this is that. I would have lost it.
like, yeah, you guys ready for the last episodes of Sopranos? We're going on vacation, and we're gonna work out this like Canadian like a pharmacy pill trade, and then Bobby's gonna kill somebody, and oh, we're gonna see Christopher for a second to where like he's gonna
no one else.
yeah, he's gonna wish Tony a happy birthday, and Tony's gonna be like, I don't like this conversation, just hangs up.
To be fair, that's how most conversations Christopher should go.
Yeah. Okay. Last episode I have. Oh, I'm so tired. Only 2 episodes are crazy. Stage 5. Basically, a Baldwin. I don't remember which Baldwin.
Daniel Baldwin, I think.
Daniel Baldwin is walking like in a chop shop, like looking thing. Sees a dead body.
Oh, William.
Guy comes out of it, got a cleaver attached to his hand. Coming to him is like, basically Cleaver. The movie that they're coming up with is now in production. That's basically finished, and they're all sitting around watching it. They're like, "Oh, should we add more scenes? Should we cut stuff?" I like it. I think it's great. This movie's fucking ass. Just I just saw a little bit.
Way worse horror movies than that. And
Yeah,
Cody's
well,
done
that
too by now.
yeah. You know what? Maybe it would be but it's like this is you. You can keep this too, and chops him in the head. But they end up sitting there. He goes, "Fucking Vince Kingsley can suck. Like he sucks." Blah blah. He ain't golden. No one's ever said that phrase in the world history of the world. And Christopher talks to Tony and be like, "Oh, it's looking good." He's like, "Oh, it's Tony." He doesn't care about post production. He doesn't give a shit about it. And then we see Johnny Sacks bald. Oxygen in, orange jumpsuit at a thing, and basically he gets the diagnosis. He's got 3 months to live. He dying. And he sits there and he says, like, so all the chemo and all the stuff. He goes, "Hey, it just you did everything you could. You probably saved yourself a little bit, but like you're gone." So he's got 3 months. He's dying. Driving back, and he's like, "I quit. I smoked all the way up and then I got in here and quit smoking." He's like, "It's probably the best decision." Looks miserable. His family comes to sit him and is like, "Have you heard any news?" And then he just ignored the question a lot. They're just hugging. No physical touch. Johnny Saxon thought just was going to lose his mind. He doesn't. But basically, it's not going well. They know it's not going to end well for him. Um, uh, uh, there's a old guy working like cleaning up the place, and he like gives an opinion, and the doctor goes, "Really, I'm telling you to stop." And then he comes over to Johnny Saxon's thing. He said, "I need to change your bed." He's like, "Who are you?" Blah blah. He's like, "Well, I killed my wife. Well, let me tell you this much. Like, I killed my wife. We killed also the mailman.
I killed the aunt too. I didn't know she was there, and the mailman. At that point, I just had to fully commit.
And I thought she was cheating, so that's why." Oh, okay. But he's like, "Oh, look at your turns, all the things. Huh? You got yourself a year or 3 years." Yeah, sounds about right. And he's like, "Oh, okay." So it kind of gives Johnny a little bit like new lease on life, feeling a little positive about it. Oh, the Sopranos also have a family dinner talking about the premiere and AJ wanting to like get close to the celebrities, and his girlfriend's like, "You're not going to be able to sleep with Paris Hilton." Like, it's just weird. Like, fucking AJ's horrible. basically gives Johnny Sacks a little bit of life. Tony's walking down to get his newspaper. The terror organization group is seeing him, and they're like, "Hey," they pull up and like, "Hey, just to let you know, we kind of made this deal with Christopher. Like, you know anything about Middle Eastern, anything coming through, to let us know." And then Tony comes back and says, "That's the last time I'm getting too dangerous. Well, like it's been too dangerous for too long." Arguably one of the funniest like lines in the thing. Like, you get so mad. They go and to the premiere. Uh, Carmine goes up there and is like, "Oh, I want to thank all these people for doing this." Christopher goes up there and is like, "Tony Soprano," and his buddy sitting back there and wrote the thing. He's like, "I could have done that." And then they end up watching it. There's enough evidence that they're looking and it looks a little bit like stuff. It seems like Tony's life is put in this a
lot of
little bit.
meetings and basements and stuff.
A lot of meetings, basements, and Tony like quotes and like Carmelo goes, "That's you." He's like, "Yeah, Tony." And then there's a whole point about an affair that happens between the thing. And Carmela and Ralphie's ex-wife, like widow, is just like, this doesn't look good. Christopher, Tony kind of tells him how like proud he is of him and like you did a good job and like thing. I don't think he's putting two to two together really. I don't think he took much offense. Some of the feds lock up a guy. He's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be at your house." So of course they find a perfect job to arrest some people. Paul Vincent meets with Tony and basically tells him like, "Hey, I don't think we need to like do this like uh I don't have the heart to be the leader of the family. Like, well, you need to pick somebody. I think this guy is going to be a good fit. Like, he's my protege. I think he'll be in a good situation." And then I don't know, felt like Geraldo is on, and they're like talking about the next leader of the family and everything like this. Um, Johnny Saxon's kid comes to visit him, and he goes, "I only got like my life's limited. I want to get everything set in order. I want my daughter to have like an allowance basically given to her because she's not the smartest person. Like, to make sure everything's taken care of and gets it all figured out." Um, uh, Mella and has an insult, like they fight about. He's like, "And that movie was about you." He's like, "I know the yelling, all that stuff," and he's like, "Yeah, it was flattering. Like it was the yelling. It wasn't just the yelling, Tony. The go with the cleave, with the hunt down, the entire thing about this whole situation, about you and the girl and like your girlfriend and like everything about tries to like." And it finally clicks in Tony's head that Christopher like wrote that about him with the Adriana like situation, like
Yeah.
yeah, which is looming for him, which I don't think he when he watched it, don't think he picked up on. And for Christopher meets with Shooter McGavin about he's like a part of the sobriety, right?
Yeah, he was part of the AA group. And the
Yeah, like
Christopher
talking
ruined
about
his
like
life.
don't they keep that away from me? Know they're dangerous. They don't give a fuck. What are you talking about? Like, they don't care. Which I thought was just hilarious. How he was like he didn't realize what world Johnny Sachs is like keeping court in the prison, telling about all these stories about the stuff, and he's smoking. They show up. I'm like, "What are you doing, Johnny?" Listen, if I'm gonna go out like smoking, like that's not a big deal. Um, Silvio sits down with the new head of the Boss family, of Paul Vincent, Johnny Sachs, and Carmine, the whole group, and he has a good shot where Silvio's sitting there, like they're having a conversation. Guy comes up and ends up whacking him. So bad as Tony meets with Carmine, he's like, "What the fuck? Get your fucking family in check! Like, what are we doing? Like this is crazy. He's like, my guy could have got taken out." He's like, "You need to figure it out. Like, you need to pick a leader." And he's like, he tries to offer it to Carmine, and Carmine does not truly want that situation. Um, Johnny Johnny Sax's wife meets with um the shit. Why can't I think the cleaning guy, the other doctor, the wife
Yeah,
killer,
the criminal.
and basically tells him like maybe smoking gives him some sort of power, like he feels more comfortable, like himself, like that's why he does it. Um, Baby's over at Carmela's, and Christopher's wife walks away, and he's like, "Yeah, like the crazy thing happened with Adriana." And, like brings up Adriana and brings up the Tony thing. He's like, "You wrote it, written by Christopher." Oh no, I didn't do that. But that wasn't me. Like, oh, looks pretty thing. And Adriana, well, your mother thinks her mother thinks she killed him. Oh, she's a drunk, like everything, like that. Why would I talk to him? Like, basically leaves. Um, Johnny Sachs is told by the guy that killed his wife, basically like, "Hey, I was wrong. Like, I agree with him. Like, you don't got long, man. It's not gonna be long." Tony meets up with his writer friend just to beat his ass, basically. And he sits there. He's like, "You need to tell Tony that you wrote this part. You came up with the idea, all this stuff." He's like, "I don't know." Like, "No, I'm not doing that." He's like, "What award is this?" "Oh, well, we got this award." And it hits him in the head. He's like, "Now figure it out. Tell Tony." Um. So guy shows up at the bing, sits there with the group, sits there talking with overall the things, talks about like this 50s movie with Will Holden, and like that's where he got the inspiration. He's like, "Oh, so you came up with it?" "Oh yeah, guilty as charged." Looked at this. Little does he know that not Tony Montana, Tony Soprano is a cinephile. He even checked out that movie and realized it ain't that movie at all. Like, he
Well,
didn't even love it.
they kind of look alike. I mean, you see
A
the
little
manner.
bit. He sits there watching, and he's just staring and shaking his head, just like motherfucker, like this. And then he cuts right to Jennifer. "I don't know why this kid hates me so much." Like all this stuff. Like, I think he holds this over my head and does all this stuff, which I think is a really cool moment. He's like, and she's like, "When you talk about him, you talk to him like more like he's your kid. Like, I held him, like I did all this stuff. Like, he means that much." Ah, then a horrible scene of Johnny Sachs barely breathing, offering a cigarette. Johnny's kid comes up and tells him he's dead. They're all passing around, putting up the ashes up at the top. Says this is where people will come when they check it out. Um, and then the baby gets christened's baby gets christened, and that's the end of the episode. Thoughts?
Yeah, I really like this episode. I loved all the movie stuff. I liked when they were doing the premiere and they went up there and they were talking and stuff. And then the director's about to start saying, so it's like, roll the movie.
They take that mic right away from him.
And then freaking Paulie's got the nerve, bad guy of the week right here, to answer his phone like right in the middle of the movie and like have like a full blown conversation.
The trunk. Put him in the trunk.
And yeah, the Johnny Sachs stuff in prison with Sidney Pollack there as the doctor murderer guy. I thought that stuff was all really good
Oh yeah.
too. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I like the Sopranos just brings in directors to kind of do like little small roles. I think that's cool. But yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, this was fun. We finally see Cleaver after all of it. And I gotta be honest with you. I was looking up Danny Baldwin while you were talking about it, and so yeah, he is the exact right person to star in this Cleaver movie. Like a bunch of
Yes.
nothing. I did not real, although I will say I did not realize that he was the one in vampires. I thought up until now it was Billy Baldwin
Yeah.
who was in vampires. But Billy Baldwin is like, I ain't fucking doing that shit.
When you can't get Billy after you tried to get Steven and you know you couldn't get out, you get Dan.
I wasn't familiar with your game. Oh, Billy.
But yeah, I like at least all the New York stuff. All the New York stuff is kind of everybody. There's a bit of a power struggle here, and then we kind of see, even though it does feel weird, it feels like we were ramping up to Phil being the villain anyway. And now, after even though had the heart attack, doesn't really want it anymore. He's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna go for it because of the because he got reminded of the Ellis Island guys changing his name from Leonardo to Leotardo. Yeah. And then all the Johnny Sack stuff is pretty sad. And then I did like the Jennifer stuff did have one thing I did kind of like, and at the very end when she's like when Tony's telling her about all the stuff, and he's like, like, is there any chance you're just like reading into all this? And like Tony's like, listen, I've been coming here for years. Like I know too much about the subconscious stuff. Okay, I know I'm not reading into this.
Okay. Bad guy of the week.
So this
Let's
is
go
a tough
first.
week.
It is. I will say, of all weeks, it's pretty hard.
There's no standout person here. I will say that.
I'm
Like,
going to throw a vote on Peggy. By far, probably the meanest thing that she tried to do the entire episode, the entire season. Like, I don't think it's remotely bad,
No, but it's just
but
this
like
week, no one's really been like
she's just
super.
dumb. Like I could go Christopher like beating the guy in the head and like that, but like
No, that's Christopher.
that was a love tap. That was a love tap.
Like-
I could also go Walnuts for answering his phone in the movie theater. That's criminal. In the game of Sopranos, the worst thing somebody's done is pick up their cell phone. Good guy of the week, probably Bakla. Like, like he took the swing and like,
stood up for his family. Good for
stood
him.
up for Tony. You Soprano, like deplorable. But yeah, I think I gotta go Peggy. I do. Harry, who's the other leader of the when they merged
Jim and Ted.
Jim and Ted, when Jim is like, sits there and talks to Harry, he's like, I don't need to listen to this. It's just me. I love that part. But like, there's no guy that Jim merged with this company, and there's no guy that regrets it more than fucking Jim every time. Like he's like, these fucking idiots all over here. But yeah, I'm going Peggy. She yelled at her secretary for no reason, shamed her for being engaged. Basically, like
kicked off her desk.
Kicked off her desk. I'm like,
yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
this may not be keeping in the spirit of the whole thing, but I just really didn't like him throughout the entire time watching this week. I think I'm gonna go with Lou. I just really don't like him. And like,
that's technical foul. This is Lou's first episode. You can't give him bad guy of the week in first episode.
He's popped up throughout.
Is he going to be? Is he going to stay on the show
for at least this half?
Okay, I'll let him slide. It's fine.
We'll let it slide. I'm going to side with Cody, but we're going to give it to Peggy this week. So just because this probably be the only opportunity to give it to her, and I think that's only fair.
I don't think Peggy's ever going to win it again. She would have won Good Guy of the Week multiple times. Stabbing that douchebag of a boyfriend like a effort. Telling Pete to fuck off.
Streak, because Cody has given it to Dawn the last 4 weeks, and now he's giving it to Peggy.
Don didn't do anything wrong this time. He was on his best fucking behavior.
He's not drinking very much now, so good for him.
He was just dealing from all the consequences of all the other bad stuff he did before.
Okay, so Peggy takes the week, but overall, Lou also gets a vote. Moving forward, I think moving forward on our stuff, we'll do like a definitive each week to get an overall count. Yes, but next week, 3-3-2, same, right?
3-3-2.
3-3-2 as we near the end. Yeah, so that's all I got for this week. 4 weeks left. Another great TV. It's going to be very hard for another. Like, I hope the next ones we watch are just as good, but like, we didn't have the Oz this season, so it's really weird. But we will see you next week. Let me take the banner off because I'm an idiot. So cool. Have a good one. Bye.